So just to start off, do you want to talk a bit about the multiple locations that are used on
Hooten The Lady? Yes, I would love to. We did 8 hours of television, and they kind of all took place all over the world. We started in the jungles of the Amazon. We went to Rome. An episode took place in Egypt, but we shot it in like Namibia, which is that Mad Max red dirt, very scenic and epic in scale. And then Bhutan, we went to Moscow, we were in Ethiopia, and we went to Cambodia and filmed in Angkor Wat. And then we ended in the Caribbean, which we actually cheated in South Africa because it's very palm trees and ocean. Beautiful. But yeah, just a big whirlwind of a lot of travel in 1 year.
And what did you learn on all these traveling excursions about all these different countries and cultures?
Well, you get little tastes, but you get, you're there, say, for a couple of weeks or a week sometimes, but you have a crew that's a local crew, and they're with you the whole time. So you get, I think, almost more. It's as if you went to one of these places and you had a tour guide with you that was from the area. But these are people that are on your production, so you slowly learn a little bit about each community. I don't think you're there enough to really immerse yourself. But I went, a lot of people go to Angkor Wat and watch the sunrise, and we went to Angkor Wat, like we all got up one morning at like 4:45 or something, and we went to, which is really cool. A lot of people are walking in the dark, and then it's just, that place is massive and amazing. What did we learn? I don't know. I mean, I feel like it was a 7-month journey, and in Rome when we were there, I was getting a lot of historical information thrown at me that I'm now jet lagged from traveling. But lots of different things, and we had our whole crew and a lot of actors came from all over the world. So you're always just by nature getting a little bit of everybody else's background and experience and upbringing. So it was a big stew of a lot of things, which was really cool.
And then can you talk a bit about working with Ophelia and how that came to be you two? Did you do a chemistry read before?
Yeah, we did they had us do a chemistry read. And there's I read with 5 girls, and I think Ophelia was the last one, and she came in, and she had just got off a plane from New York, and so she was like, "Oh, I'm so tired." It was a little woe is me, and I had been making a movie in Thailand, and I flew from Bangkok, and I was like, I came from Bangkok, so we instantly had like a little bit of a Hooten The Lady moment, which I think was like a little mini spark that I think they responded to. But she's terrific. She's a hardworking actress. She's very intelligent and funny. I think her comic timing is genius, and we got along. I mean, if you're going to work with somebody, I had to leave my family and go all over the world. I kind of made it my mission, like, we're going to get along and we're going to be partners because you spend 12 hours a day. So she's great, and I'd love to make more. Like, we still get along.
Well, that's good. Not all.
No, sometimes people don't, and I don't want to. I don't accept that. So it's going to take a lot to make me not get along with somebody.
Well, that's good to hear. So with those two characters and the relationship that they have with each other, what do you think that it is that makes them so drawn to one another? Because
I think the nature of the show is they both want the same thing. They're usually going after the same thing, whether it's a treasure or an artifact, but they do it in 2 completely different ways, and that causes a little friction, which I think makes a little spark, not to be so silly in that way, but that helps. And there's a little bit of I think they also are attracted to each other, not in a physical way, but in the fact that they both go toe-to-toe. He's never met somebody that can go toe-to-toe with him, and she's probably never met somebody that can go toe-to-toe with her. So it makes for a nice little, I think it makes for really nice chemistry.
do you think that it gets a bit incessant with media always pushing men and women to be romantically involved and not exploring other types of relationship dynamics?
Well, I think that's one of the things Ophelia I like as well. I think she's really responded to the fact that this is a very contemporary show in that nature. And for Ophelia, her thing is, why can't a man and a woman be friends? Mm-hmm. Her character's engaged in this show. Mm-hmm. And she wouldn't be I don't think the character would be one we'd want to watch if she wasn't in love with the person she was engaged with. That being said, I think there is a fun, because this show has a little bit of an aspirational feel and wow, they're in the genre, they do that. When they are, there's a chemistry with them that I think maybe viewers will also enjoy. It doesn't always have to go to the romantic place, but I think whatever that is, I enjoy when we go back and forth, and even when I read the scripts, those are the scenes I like the most. It doesn't mean I'm thinking it from a sexual point of view, but there's something fun about that. So I don't know, but she's she's not the damsel in distress in this show. She gives as much or she takes as much as she gives, and
Right.
which I think is good. And Ophelia herself is a very strong woman, and is that way in real life too. So it's nice.
And then you're also known for your work in the comic book world with the Lois and...
I know.
Yeah. It's been a while,
It's
but...
been a while, but it's really nice to come here and see how, when you make a show and you live in Los Angeles where people make a lot of shows and movies and no one really cares, to come out into it, see how that it's actually impacted people, or people have watched it, or people grew up watching it, or they watched it with their parents and they had a special memory of it, is really flattering and cool. And now there's so many superhero shows. I said I'd make a joke that I did the superhero show when it wasn't cool or in. But it is, I've certainly here at Comic Con, you see the impact that these shows have. Like even now, my son watches Flash, but that's huge. Flash, Arrow, Supergirl, so.
What do you think it is about the stories that allow them to keep being reimagined and redone time and time again? It's a bit like classic literature.
Yeah, it's like Shakespeare, right? Or I think you have those arch kind of characters and those storylines, and we have a villain, but I think you have also, I was kind of noticing that they're very relatable characters. Like that boy in Flash is not like Army Man, you know what I mean? Like he's kind of I think people can identify with different characters within these shows.
Yeah, and with it becoming more diverse, like with the way they cast and which characters are now being chosen to have their stories told, there's always a subsection of people that are very hostile towards basically people of color getting a job.
Right.
I mean, what is your take on people saying
I know the actor that's playing Jimmy Olsen in Supergirl, McCall Brooks, who's great and a lovely guy, and I think I like, for stories like that to keep going, like you said, they have to evolve and you have to change, and anytime you can mix that up, I think it's a wonderful thing. Hi, I'm Michael Landis, and you are watching MyMBUZZ. And you better not be buzzed.